Hey, what's up guys, Grace here, back with some more Anthem stuff, and today we have quite a few things to discuss about, specifically loot drops, because I know that is like one of the main reasons why you're even playing this game, if you're still playing it by the way. So yeah, we're going to go over that right about now. We have some new information about certain things that are a little bit concerning if you ask me, but I'm going to like tell you exactly what it is in just a bit, so it will make sense a little bit later on. I'm also going to talk about some hard evidence, on loot drops and how they have been affected by the most recent changes. Specifically, I want to talk about the changes in update 1.03. But yeah, let's start with the first one over here. There's this huge thread over on Reddit here right now, and obviously almost every single day there's a huge thread on Reddit because Anthem, man, as much as I love it, and I'm not gonna lie, I have fun with it, it keeps breaking worse than a 1950 car right now. Like, no matter how much you try fixing it, like putting back its wheel, it keeps falling apart, right? Like, you try to put back the bumper, the doors fall off. You try to put back the door, the shield, just falls off, and when you try to put back the shield, it just collapses entirely into a pile of junk. I'm not trying to be toxic or anything, but it's just hilarious to see how things unfold. Whenever BioWare tries to come in and fix a bunch of stuff, 100 other issues arise and or are brought in the community's face. So let's go over this recent one, which is posted by this user over here, and as you can read by the title, drop quality is linked to group average item level. And of course you can see this obscene, because I can only call it like that, I almost gave it a not safe for work tag, but it's an obscene screenshot of 3 legendaries and more than a dozen or so masterworks from a 750 item level legendary ranger. So yeah, this should have been on Pornhub, by the way. Anyway, let's discuss about the topic at hand. Obviously this title over here is rage inducing. If the group item level is going to influence the drop quality, then there's a huge problem. But let's go over the findings of this person, and before like diving into it, I'm just going to say this is the finding of a single person. If you go and check like 10 threads over on Reddit with 10 people posting their results, they will all post different results. Like, you will see somebody exclusively getting legendaries, somebody who's not getting anything for weeks, and somebody who is like somewhere in between. So yeah, there are a lot of conflicting results, but I'm just going to go over this. And what I want to say is that I want to bring this issue to the public attention so we can further test it out. So let's start with the fact that it seems that the drop quality is linked very heavily into Javelin average item level for your group in combination with luck. Well, I'd very much like this to not be true. We've been testing this over the last day and our theory is holding clear. I'd very much love if someone can provide extra data for or against our findings, and obviously I'm going to log in the game and we'll do my testing on my own, with my own group, and even solo. But basically, to break this all down, it boils down to the fact that the average item level of your grouped members is going to influence the amount of items you're going to get. And according to this theory, if you're playing solo, you're much more likely to get better gear. And this has actually been posted and hinted by some of you guys for over 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. I've seen like a handful of comments every now and then on my videos suggesting that if you run solo or without items on yourself, you're going to get a much higher chance at getting legendaries. But let's see the experience of this user. So he comes in as a 750 no support using legendary ranger. Of course, that means he's at the eye level cap of 75 or 750, not really sure what the calculation is. Really profound stuff over there, but the impact is pretty noticeable. So he made a few runs, each lasting for like 1 hour and 15 minutes. In 2 of the runs he went with a group of people, so he was in a party where you can see like the party UI and the arrow indicator. And then of course 2 solo runs without any party members. He was just doing solo runs, and of course all of these were in the free play on the Grandmaster difficulty. I believe this was Grandmaster 3, but he's not really clarifying things. But nonetheless, here is his results. In the first 2 runs with his party, with his own party of friends that he invited, across the party he got in the first run 6 masterworks, 0 legendaries, and of course with a group average of 5 masterworks and 0.25 legendaries. And in the second run he got 4 masterworks, 1 legendary, and a group average of 5 masterworks and 0.5 legendaries across 1 hour each. In run 3 and 4, which was himself solo, but keep in mind he was still put on a server with 3 other people, he was just not in a party with them. So he got 18 Masterworks, 3 Legendaries, and with the 3-player group average he got 5 Masterworks and 0.25 Legendaries. And the run number 4, which was himself solo, group increased item level, he got 20 Masterworks, 3 Legendaries. Then with the 3-player group average he got 14 Masterworks and 2 Legendaries. Of course the sample size is way too small to even like consider this. He might as well just be on a huge luck streak, especially since he's running Grandmaster 3, and especially since patch 1.03 did increase the loot drops. But yeah, he did report the fact that this was consistent across his entire parties. It wasn't just him that was experiencing the same thing, it was his entire party and the 3 other group members that were experiencing the same. But yeah, if I understand this correctly, the theory here goes like this: if you have a huge item level like 750 or close to that, and if you have like somewhere in the range of 10% plus or minus of 90 luck, then you're probably going to have the highest chances of getting these kinds of drops as long as your entire party average is at that level. Otherwise, if you can't keep it at that level at 750, then you have to run solo so that you don't risk having the party level being lowered. Basically, he's the only legendary, you know, level ranger in his party. All of his teammates are much lower item level, which means that his party members, if he groups up with them, will bring down the average item level of the entire group. So yeah, this kinda looks like one of those systems where BioWare wants to like help out players who are on different item levels. Like let's say for example you want to play with a friend of yours who is much lower item level than you are, and maybe BioWare thought that they could, you know, make a system that rewards both of those players, but instead what the system ended up doing is that it averages out and it just brings out, you know, bad loot for those at the top levels. That really isn't the way to go, and I think that many of these features right now that BioWare implemented with the hopes of creating this environment that promotes, you know, players going back into low level areas or helping lower level party members ends up ruining more of the end game rather than helping with anything. And I think at this point it might not be a bad idea to disable these for now and then try to like code them in a better way so that it doesn't cause these issues later down the line. Like just disable it right now and not make any scaling of any sort until you use that thing properly. I mean, there's a lot of games right now who are using scaling. Scaling in itself is not a problem as long as it's properly implemented. But there is some good news though. We do have a lot of information over which we can go over here. So here is some loot data posted by somebody called Kringlen05. So yeah, I hope I didn't butcher his name, but he pretty much recorded all of his loot drops since patch 1.02, even including post loot hotfix in patch 1.03. So here for example is the patch 1.02 where he recorded with luck 85 a total of 265 drops. So of course his chances of Masterworks were 5% then, almost 1.5% for legendaries. In patch 1.03 he had a higher amount of loot drops, but of course the Masterwork chance and the chances of a legendary weren't really that far off. Honestly, they were still pretty low. So Masterwork were still below 6% chance, legendaries were still like 1.34, so it was like a rather big decrease if you ask me. But here comes patch 1.03, and of course his sample size is 160 drops over here because he didn't get to play too much. I mean, the hotfix was a few days ago, but there is a significant increase in both Masterwork and legendary drops. It's more than double than how it was previously. It's still, you know, on a smaller size, but this is a damn good drop rate. So more than 11% chance for Masterworks to drop and about 3.75% chances for legendaries. If you take the averages right now from all of the reports that are coming from people, I think you're going to find that playing free play Grandmaster 3 is probably going to be the best way at getting loot, as long as you're not playing in a party, if that theory holds correct, and as long as you're playing with like a luck of somewhere around 80 and 90. And I also want to go a little bit over the luck itself. I know that the general theory is that the luck should be capped at 90, and that is true, but from a lot of testing that has been done, it seems that if you surpass 90 or if you are exactly 90, the calculation somehow resets and goes back to 0. So it's better to go to like 87, 85, like just go to one of these numbers between 80 and 90. Nonetheless, in conclusion, we're also going to have like an update tomorrow, or at the very least some sort of, you know, maintenance. According to the EA help page, we have planned server downtime for scheduled maintenance on all platforms from 7 to 9 AM CDT on Tuesday, March 9th. 2019. Please plan your adventures in Anthem accordingly. But that is all that I have for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, a thumbs up would be super appreciated, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, so peace out.